No one can deny that the last couple of years have been incredibly hard for lots of people, lots of businesses. And a lot of people are starting side hustles. One of the areas that's incredibly lucrative, if you know how to do it, is web design. Whether you're creating this for yourself, for businesses, you want to create a blog, or you want to start influencer marketing, there's lots of different reasons why you'd want to create websites, but you may be in that position of not really having the budget to do much about it. Today, I'm going to show you a range of different tools you can use to get a website up online for zero cost. Everything included in today's video is totally and utterly free. Now, you may be a dab hand at design, but looking for ways in which you can actually take your design skills and put those into a web design context. Tools like Figma, Adobe XD, and those kinds of things make the whole process much, much easier. So I would highly recommend taking a look at Figma and getting an understanding of the basics. Now, there are tons and tons of video tutorials available for you showing you how to get started with this. And I've been using this for a while now to go about making sure that my designs are exactly where I want them to be. They're pixel perfect, and then I can translate that over into my actual designs. You have a free plan with Figma that you can use, and that should be more than enough for most use cases. But you've also got another tool which is called Framer. If you want to take a look at that, that's a very similar kind of tool, and again has a free plan that should do more than enough for most use cases. You've also got Adobe XD, which is another very popular tool, and you've also got tools like Sketch. Lots of different ways in which you can combine these tools to create your designs before you even start building anything. Now, one of the beauties of working with a tool like Figma is there's lots and lots of plugins that open up even more things you can do. And with the free plan, you get plenty of different options. You can have up to 3 different projects open at the same time, unlimited personal files, unlimited collaborations if you're working with clients and you want to make a little bit of money on your side hustle. You've got plugins and templates to open up what you can do from a design point of view, and also from that expanding the tool set that Figma even gives you, right the way down to having a mobile app. So if you like to work on a tablet or a mobile, you can do that as well. Lots of great options, and that's totally and utterly free. So once you've built your design and you're ready to then convert that into a website, what do we do? Well, let's be honest about it. The first thought for most people is going to be WordPress, and that's exactly what I'm going to recommend. It powers over 40% of the internet, is totally and utterly free, apart from the domain that you're going to need to use and the hosting, which you can find for free. But let's be honest about it, a couple of pounds, a couple of dollars per month, if you want to get a website online, either for yourself or a client, is probably not going to break the bank. But if you do want free, there are free options. You can dig around and find out some good deals there. I personally recommend, if you're getting started using something like SiteGround, you can start off for as cheap as £2.99 and probably not much difference dollar-wise to have a website online, which gives you more than enough resources to start making money for yourself. So take a look at that link in the description if you want to check that out. So WordPress is what we're going to be using. Now, I've already gone ahead and installed WordPress. If you want to see how to do this, how to build an entire website for yourself, I'll put some links down below. Now, once you've gone ahead, chosen your platform, purchased your hosting, the next thing we're going to need to do is go ahead and install WordPress. Now, if you're using something like SiteGround and most other modern hosting companies, they're going to give you a very quick and easy way of installing WordPress for yourself. In this example, let's take a quick look at how we do it inside SiteGround. All we need to do is come into your SiteGround dashboard, hop over into WordPress, go into Install and Manage, and then choose to install WordPress. Or if we wanted to create an e-commerce store, we could use WordPress and WooCommerce. For example, we'll just use WordPress on its own. We'll hit select on there. Now all I need to do is go and fill out the details for the domain I want to use if I've got more than one, the language, the folder, those kinds of things. So I'll quickly do that. There we go. I filled out all of my details. All I need to do now is click on install, and that will then install WordPress onto my domain for me and then let me log in to go and access and start building our website. So I'm going to click on install. Once that's finished, we now have a blank website using WordPress, all installed, ready for us. As you can see, it kind of looks a bit rubbish at the moment, but everything is set up, and that's the most important thing. If we hop over and take a look at the dashboard itself for WordPress by logging in, we can see we get a nice welcome message now, ready for us to go ahead and start building things out. So the next thing we need to do is take a look at how we get started building this, and then we'll take a look at the resources we can tap into to style and build everything the way that we want to. So now that WordPress is installed, the next thing we want to do is go ahead and actually make it look the way that we want it to. The quickest and easiest way to do that is go ahead and use a theme. There are lots and lots of great free themes to choose from. I'd highly recommend checking out ones like Blocksy, Astra, Cadence, those kinds of themes. Links in the description below if you want to check those out for yourself. For this example though, let's go ahead and install one of those themes and use that as the basis for building our website. To do that, all we need to do is hop over into the Appearance tab inside the dashboard of WordPress and come into Themes. Inside there, that will now show us all of the themes that are installed. And as you can see, we've already got 4 themes installed as part of WordPress. These are the default themes, and you can basically ignore these in this example. They're okay as starting points, but they're not the most exciting to work with. So let's go ahead and add a new one. Let's click on Add New. And now we can go ahead and we can start to search for any of the themes that we want. So for our example, we're going to choose the Astra theme. If for any reason you don't see it here, simply come into the search themes in the corner and search for Astra. And that will then filter that out for any that match that particular keyword. We'll go ahead now and click on Install. But if we want to find out more information about it, we can also check out the details and preview. And that allows us to find out this has got a 5-star rating with over 5,000 ratings. Let's go ahead and install this. Once that's installed, we can simply click on Activate to make that our active theme as part of WordPress. You can see now we're told to get started. And one of the reasons why I like the Astra theme is if you're new to working with WordPress and themes, it makes it very, very easy to go through a simple step-by-step wizard to not only install the starter sites you might like, but also to customize them a little bit to start off with, which is a great way of getting your website up and running in super quick time. So let's go ahead and click on Get Started. Once we do that, that will download and install the little plugin that allows us to go ahead and use any of these starter themes. You can see we can go ahead and click on Build Our Website, or we can watch the little introduction video that will show us how to get started, and we can find out a little bit more about Astra and the starter themes that it come with. Let's go ahead though and build our website now. We can now choose what builder we want to use for our design. Now you can use the block editor, which is basically Gutenberg, which is part of WordPress itself. We're going to use that in the most part for this, but I will show you how we can use Elementor as well. And we can choose Elementor at this starting point as well. And then go ahead and download and install the free version. However, if you prefer to use Beaver Builder, which is a paid plugin, you can go ahead and use Beaver Builder. For this example, we'll choose the block editor to start off with. We'll choose that. And that will then take us over to the next screen where we can go ahead and we can find a great looking starter template to start working with. So let's just take a little look. You can see if we scroll on through, we've got some great looking starting points. If we want e-commerce, we've got those. If we want to filter things down, we can go ahead and come to the top. You can see we can choose things like online store. That will then filter those down to show us any of the online store options. We may have a business, we may have local businesses, personal care, professionals, those kinds of things. So for this example, let's just get rid of this search criteria and let's have a little look through. We don't want to build an e-commerce site right now, so we're going to find something that's just a good starting point. Okay, so I like the look of this one. Let's go ahead and choose the mountain. If we click and open that up, you can see that now takes us into what I talked about earlier on, which is that step-by-step wizard, which makes this whole process really simple. We can go ahead, if we want to at this point, upload our logo if we've got one. We can adjust the logo width, but don't worry if you don't have it right now. You can come back and change every single aspect of every part of the design. The color, typography, images, layout, logos, everything. But this is a quick and easy way to get started. We'll leave the logo as it is for now and let it use the placeholder that's already part of this design template. We'll click on Skip and Continue. And now we can come in, we can choose color combinations and also typographic combinations. So if you're not particularly great with colors and with typography, or you just want a sort of a starting point, this is a great way of doing it. You can see we've got a range of default colors, or we can go ahead and pick any of these other color combinations, and immediately this now picks up that design aspect using those color combinations. So we can quickly go through these and find something we think is a good starting point, or we can go with default and then change those manually ourselves later. For this example, I kind of like this pale blue combination. That looks pretty good, so we're going to go with that. I can scroll through, just make sure I like the look of everything in place. Yep, that looks pretty cool. So we're going to say we'll go with that layout and that color scheme. And now we can just fine tune the typography. So if we don't like this sort of sans serif look, we can try something a little different. We can choose any of these other options. For this example, let's go with Merriweather and Inter as the combination. Again, I can quickly scroll through to make sure I'm happy with the look and feel of everything in that combination. So now we've chosen our colors, we've chosen our typography, we can click on Continue. And now we can just go ahead and we can install all the basic information, the filler text, the customization options, those kinds of things. Now, you don't need to fill this information in if you don't want to. You can basically ignore it. I'm also going to uncheck the option for share non-sensitive data. So this is now going to go ahead and import the customizer settings, the widgets, and the content. So now we just wait for that to go ahead and install everything it needs to do, download everything, images, those kinds of things. Once that's finished, we then have our website up and ready. And there we go. That's everything now set up. We got, again, a little video we can click on and play a little bit of information about the Astra theme and what's happened. Or we can just click on View Your Website. Let's click on that. We now have a fully working website up and running with all the pages, all the content, the typography, colors, everything we wanted, all set up and created for us. So we've now got a great starting point to go ahead and customize things. So let's take a quick look now at what's gone on with our pages. And let's open up our home page to start off with. So this is now using the Gutenberg page editor, and it's okay. It allows us to get started, but there are other tools out there that are free that open up more inside the block editor, or Gutenberg as it's kind of known. If we take a look at the plus in the top corner, you can see there looks like a lot of options, but there's also a lot of things missing. Things like columns and rows and those kinds of things. So we can go about making that much, much more usable by taking a look at some of the free block tools that I'd recommend checking out. So first of all, I would recommend Cadence Blocks. Cadence Blocks, the free version, has an awful lot of key tools that you need to create your designs and layouts. Things like those columns, rows, headers, images, lots and lots of great tools. There's a free version, there is a pro version, which brings even more to the table, but I think for most use cases, the free version should be more than enough to get you up and running to be able to create more unique designs. On top of that, we've also got Stackable. Now, Stackable, again, has a free and a pro version and shares a lot of similarities with Cadence Blocks. So you can kind of take your choice which one you would prefer. I'd recommend taking a look at the websites to see what they offer. Maybe even try them out and see what you prefer out of the two, but both of them will give you a great starting point. So let's go ahead and install Cadence Blocks, and let me just quickly show you why this is such a good starting point for building your designs using Gutenberg. We'll quickly do a search for that. We'll go ahead and install the plugin, simply activate it, and we now have a lot more options available to us. You can see we're immediately taken over to the Cadence Blocks option, and this will then show us all the different kinds of blocks we have inside here. Things like row layouts, forms, galleries, buttons, those kinds of things. So now if we go back over to our pages, open our home page up one more time, click on the plus in the top corner, you'll see we now have all of these Cadence Blocks, which allows us to insert more advanced layouts. We've got great options like sections, rows, those kinds of things, which allows us to create much more custom designs. On top of that, if you are not particularly design orientated, we've now got the design library. The design library is a basic set of templates using the Cadence Blocks, which we can use as a starting point and then customize them in the same way that we've done with the Astra theme. So let's open up the design library. Now inside there we've got sections, starter packs, and wireframes. Sections are basic building block pieces, so it could be a hero image, it could be a call to action, a form, those kinds of things. Starter packs are basically an overall page or an entire site design which you can tap into. Finally, you've got the wireframe option. And the wireframe option is, as its name would suggest, basic wireframe design. So no images, nothing like that, just filler text and so on. But these are a great way of very quickly adding additional content design layouts with a consistent look and feel to your designs. Great if you want to get up and running super quickly and just replace the content with your own content, images, headlines, text, those kinds of things. So you can just grab any of these, drop those into your design, and you've got a great starting point. So let me just quickly show you an example. Let's say we like this content 1 area. I can simply click on this, that'll prepare the content, and now that's immediately inserted directly into our design in our page, and we can now go ahead and use the Cadence Blocks to customize every aspect of this. Want to change an image? We can click on an image, click on replace, go ahead, upload, or choose from our media library. So many options you can use inside here to really speed up building things. If you're doing this for yourself, it's great. If you're doing it for a client or a customer and you just want to rapidly build something, wireframes are a great starting point. Now, on top of using blocks like Cadence Blocks and so on, you may want to look at an alternative if you like to design in a fully and utterly WYSIWYG or what you see is what you get environment, at which point I would recommend taking a look at the free version of Elementor. That gives you all the basic tools you need to get up and running, building your site designs very quickly. I've got tons of tutorials on getting started using Elementor, which I will link to some of those in the description below. So if you want something just a little bit more visual, then maybe take a look at using Elementor free to get your page designs put together. So now we've decided what tools we're going to use to build our pages. We've styled the basics of our website. Obviously, we don't want it to be all about mountains and things. That's nothing to do with what we're talking about. Let's just say, for example, in this use case, we're building something to do with food. We obviously want to replace the images of mountains and things with some images that are a little bit more applicable. But where do you get good quality images from? This is where we're going to be using some of our free stock image libraries. Now, the one that I would generally recommend that I find really useful and a good sort of starting point is Pexels. Now, Pexels allows you to go ahead and search for content. So let's just say food. And as you can see, we now get a ton of pictures of food. But we've also got horizontal, vertical, square, those kinds of things, which doesn't make a lot of sense in some examples. So let's go ahead and use the filters option. And inside there, we can now go and change things for orientation. So for our hero image, we'd like something that's going to be a landscape image. So we'll just say we want this to be horizontal. And now you can see this filters things down to only show us images that are horizontal. So a great starting point. So we can now go through and find an image that we want. Let's just say that we've got a specific color scheme that we're working with. We can also come in and choose the hex code. So we may find a specific color, or we just generally want something that's in that blue color range. We can simply choose that option from there, and that will now filter things through to find images that have a predominantly blue color, or whatever color you choose. We can also choose what size or sizes we want. So we may want to have only large images so we can crop in and do what we want. Well, then we choose large from there. So now we've got horizontal images available in large with a color code of that hex value. As you can see, we can now scroll through and find out images that match that exact criteria. So pretty cool. One of the things I like about this is it just makes this whole process very easy. Now, next up, I would recommend taking a look at Unsplash. Now, Unsplash has been going for an awful long time, but it has recently been bought out. And that means that the searching is now kind of dotted with a lot more paid for images. There are still plenty of free ones, but I don't find it quite as nice or as easy to use as Pexels. Let me just quickly show you what I mean. Let's do a search for food one more time. And you can see now we've got browse premium images from iStock. So these first 8 images are all premium images, ones you'd have to pay for. Then underneath we get the free options and we get adverts inside here. But as long as you don't mind browsing through those, there are some still amazing looking images you can tap into using Unsplash or Pexels. So find the images that you want and then we can go ahead and use them. Let's switch back over though into the option for Pexels. Let's remove this color. Let's just reset our filters, set this back to horizontal, and just leave it at that. So now we can go ahead, find some images that we like, and then the next thing we want to do is take a look at how we can edit them, maybe crop them, and how we can optimize them, again, using totally free services. So I like the look of this burger. I'm a little bit of a carnivore, so we're going to go ahead and we'll use this. Now we could go ahead and just download this directly, or we can click to open it up, and we can choose the size we want to download. We can also add this to our collection, and we can also like this. There's options for more info if you want to find out more information about it, the size of it, the number of downloads, those kinds of things. I'm happy with this. If we click on the little arrow, I can choose from one of the pre-designed layout sizes, but I can also create a custom size if I know the exact dimensions that I want for something. For this example though, I want the maximum resolution so I can go ahead and I can edit this in our next application. So we'll choose the option for original and we'll download the selected sizes. Now, in most use cases, you don't need to give attribution or donate, but if you're going to be using other people's images, it might be nice to put that in there and a link back to this to give them credit for what they're doing. But we'll leave this. Okay, so now that we've downloaded the image, we can go ahead and we can start editing it. Now, what we're going to use for editing, now sure, there are free applications you can download and install to your computer, things like GIMP and things like that. But you don't always want to install something on your computer. So there are great online options we can use. The two I would recommend to take a look at is Photopea if you want a very Photoshop orientated experience, or Pixlr. For this example, let's take a quick look at Photopea. You can see once we open this up, I can drag and drop any files inside here. So let's go ahead and open this from the computer first of all. So once I've selected the image, that will now upload that. And you can see now I have basically a Photoshop based layout in front of me, at which point I can now go ahead and I can do most things. If I want to color correct this, if I want to change it, I want to crop it, all those options are available for me. I can output this as a PNG, an SVG in the right circumstances. Obviously wouldn't work in this example, but I can align things, I can customize things, I can do whatever I want to do. So let's say I don't really like this sort of dark piece at the bottom, I want to crop that off. Well, I use the crop tool, and now I can simply come in, I can adjust that to get it where I want, take off the extra space at the top, get this to where I want it to be. If I needed to straighten it, I can do that. And then once I've finished, I can choose to delete those crop pixels, so it'll permanently remove them, which is fine for this example. And we'll click on the check mark to say you want to do that. And we've now gone ahead and adjusted the image. Now, this is just a simple example. You could go as far as you wanted with this. You've got full control over layers, channels, paths, color options. You can add typography inside here. You can do whatever you want. There's tons of great options. Once we're happy, then we can simply go and export this. So we've got a file. We can say we want to save this as a PSD if we wanted to work inside Photoshop. We can save more. We can export. So for this example, let's export this as a JPEG image. I now have an option to go ahead and make sure it looks the way I want. I can resize this if I want to. So let's just say I wanted to set this to be a little bit more in keeping with the sizing. So let's say we'll go for 1920 on the longest edge. And you can see that automatically links those two together. Once we're happy, we can set the quality on there. I'll up that to about 75. Actually, let's go to 80 because we're going to optimize this separately anyway. And now we'll go ahead and save this. So this will now save that onto our computer, and we can go ahead and we can do whatever we want next. So before we move on to compressing our images and upload them to our site, let's take a quick look at Pixlr. Now, Pixlr comes in a couple of different flavors. You've got Pixlr X and Pixlr E. Pixlr E is more like that Photoshop experience, where Pixlr X is more like a design kind of thing. If you think of Canva, those kinds of things where you can create designs, you can do that inside Pixlr X. There's also a new one called Photobox Studio. But for this example, let's open up Pixlr E. We can now go ahead and upload our image. We can also do things like batch edit inside here if you wanted to. But let's open this image up. We're then presented with what size do we want to work with. In this example, we'll go for the Ultra HD and we'll say apply. So there we go. There's our image uploaded. And as you can see, this is very similar to what we saw inside Photopea, a very Photoshop-based experience. You know, we've got our layers, we've got our history, all our different tools on the left-hand side. And again, we can go ahead and we can do things like crop this. So we could just simply come in, remove the bits that we don't want, apply that. You can see where I'm going with this. So if you are accustomed to using tools like Photoshop, or you just want to learn a little bit about image editing, this is a great way of going about it. Either using Pixlr or using Photopea. Both are great options and all 100% online and 100% free. So now we've gone ahead, we've edited our image, we've downloaded and saved it, and we're ready to move it up to our website. Next thing I want to do is optimize it to make sure that we don't end up with massive images that are taking up a huge amount of space on our page and making everything really slow. To do that, we've got lots of great online options. There are three that I would recommend taking a look at. You've got Tiny JPEG or Tiny PNG, both exactly the same, do the same thing. You've also got bulk resize, which allows you to go ahead and, like its name suggests, resize images. Lots of great options inside there. And also short pixel, which allows you to very easily upload up to 50 files and optimize those in a simple drag and drop environment. Let's click to add our image in. Now inside here, we do have some basic options. You can see we can choose from lossy, glossy, and lossless. I would recommend taking a look at these if you want to just see exactly what you're going to get. But using the lossy, which generally gives good results, you can see this has shrunk this down by 59%. If we want to check it out to make sure we're happy with the end result, we can click on the compare by clicking on the little eyeball, and you can see we can now do a side by side. And as you can see, there's pretty much no loss of quality, but there is a considerable loss in file size. So let's just close that down, and now we can go ahead and we can download that. And we've now got the best quality version of that at the smallest file size. So now we've hopped back in to our page inside Gutenberg. Let's go ahead and select our header or hero image. And let's go ahead and change this from this existing one. All we need to do is simply click on it, click on replace. We can go to upload, and now we can choose the file we want to upload from our computer. So let's go and choose our maximum compressed version. And there we go. That's now been uploaded, inserted into our design. We can click update, hop back over to our page and refresh this. And you see there's our optimized image downloaded from Pexels set up exactly the way we want, and it looks pretty cool. So that's how easy it is to go about using tools like that. So we've now got our website up online. We've seen the basics of the tools we can use to customize it. We've seen the themes we can use. We can get images. We can get all those kinds of things for absolutely zero cost. What's next? Well, the next thing you want to do is make sure that someone can find your website. For this, we need to use some kind of SEO or search engine optimization tools. Now, there are lots, again, of free options available, but the tool I would recommend taking a look at will be SEO Press and also Rank Math. To add the SEO tools is very easy. All we need to do is just simply hop into the plugin section, our dashboard, add new one more time, and from there, we're just going to simply search for SEO Press or Rank Math, whichever your preference is. As you can see, this has over 200,000 active installs, gets a 5-star rating with 815 5-star ratings. Let's go ahead and install this. Once that's installed, we can now go ahead and activate it, and we'll now be able to go ahead and set things up if we want to take it away from any of the default settings. So once you finish the installation and you go into any of your pages or posts, you're going to see a couple of things have changed. We now have some options for things like title tag, meta description, no index, no follow, and score. Now, title tag is the page title, which obviously needs to be optimized for search engines, and the meta description is the brief basic description you see. So when you do a search for something, for example, we'll search for SEO Press. Now you see on the search results, you see we get a couple of pieces of information. We get the page title, which we can set up in SEO Press, and also the meta description, which is what we're just talking about. But how do you go about actually setting those up? All we need to do is go back into any of our pages and open those up. Now if we scroll right the way down to the bottom, you'll see we've got some new panels. We've got the SEO and we've got the content analysis. The SEO is where you can insert your page title, your meta description, and also the information when you share or someone shares your posts on social media. So the featured image that's going to be displayed there, the title, the description, the link, those kinds of things. You've also got some advanced features which you don't need to worry about too much. You've also got the content analysis, and what this does is it allows you to insert your keyword or key phrase and then analyze your content. And this will then show you what could be improved, what's good, what really needs to be updated and improved upon. So this is a good way of helping you make sure you fine-tune and optimize the content on the particular page or post. You now have a great collection of free tools and resources to get great looking websites built up super quick and easy. But if you want to know more, there are great links in the description and in the corner right now to help you get so much more to building your WordPress websites. Now, if you want any more information, there's links in the description. And as always, my name's Paul C. This is WP Tuts, and until next time, take care.